Okay, well, we'll now pick up where we left off. Namely, we will go on discussing particle in, part 2. What we said in the previous episode is that particle in is typically used when we make reference to, literal containment, like a gift is in a box. And we argued that from the literal in sense of this particle, we can move on to an abstract notion of in, namely the area where we said that we can make reference to a geographical area in London or a visual field like in the rain, in the shadow of a tree, in a stormy night, right? So there is a further metaphorization process or entailment by means of which we can claim that containment in or in expressing containment, container, is also used in expressions that manifest some kind of psychological or emotional state. That is illustrated by expressions such as be in love, be in a shock, be in pain, be in a coma. Be in love is a classic. Love is a container. Notice that we can fall in love or we can fall out of love. We can be in love or we can be out of love. So there are basically 4 expressions that bear out the claim that in is conceptualized as a container. Now we will pass on to the following slide where we will find more examples of containment in its use as abstract psychological or emotional state.
John has fallen in love. He's in debt. He should really be a bit more concerned with budgeting. He's in shock, in despair, in a pit of depression, in pain, in a coma.
Okay, the next point that we will make is the following. We should note that there are a number of words. We're going to use this as a pedagogical tool. The terms insertion, inclusion, intrusion all contain the prefix in. So in insertion and inclusion, we can think of phrasal verbs such as count me in or count me out. In examples like, are you going to Mary's party? Yeah, count me in or count me out, depending on whether the person wishes to go to the party or does not want to go to the party. Then the expression sitting on a class is typically used when a student who has not signed up for a class wants to sit in on a class, wants to participate on a specific class because he or she is interested in a topic that the teacher is developing. So these are instances of insertion or inclusion, again in container, containment, of the said particle. Last but not least, we should mention the fact that from insertion inclusion we can go to intrusion, and this is where I think we're going to make a more, in my opinion, interesting contribution. There are a number of expressions such as listen in on somebody or spy in on somebody or drop in on somebody, where you pay a visit, you have not arranged to meet that person, but you just drop in and unexpectedly. Or you can walk in on someone, that is, you can walk into somebody's room, or you can walk into somebody's house without that person expecting you to perform that action, right? So this particle in these contexts is expressing the meaning of intrusion or intruding or trespassing. We will illustrate this entailment of particle in the following slide.
You're not supposed to be listening in on our conversations. This is top secret. He's been spying in on you. You should report him to the police. I was wondering if you didn't mind dropping in on us without any notice whatsoever. We've already met. He walked in on me while I was changing, And this is from Friends, the one where Ross got high.
Again, we will comment on the chain of entailment in relation to particle in, where we go from the literal meaning of in a box, to the first abstract meaning of in an area, in a visual field, to the more abstract meaning of in a psychological or emotional state. Last but not least, I would like to again highlight the fact that in can also entail some kind of intrusion or act of trespassing. In the next episode, we will discuss particle out.